Mr. Chairman. Secretary, welcome back to the committee. Good to see you. Thank you for what you've been doing over at the department. A couple questions here. I'm going to focus first on critical minerals, specifically graphite, and then I want to talk about one of my favorite projects, and that is the prospect for more geothermal in our country, specifically in Alaska. So with regards to domestic graphite, you know that right now we're not currently producing anything, and yet graphite accounts for about 95% of the anode in EV batteries, nearly 30% of a typical EV battery by weight. We have a pretty significant graphite deposit. In fact, our nation's largest graphite project or deposit is in Alaska above Nome, Graphite 1. But you know what our situation is right now in this country. We're importing 100% of our natural graphite, with 70 to 80% of what is used in EV batteries coming from China. I don't think anybody likes that situation. So in light of the projections in terms of increased demand for graphite, can you share with me what the administration's plan is for domestic graphite, and if a project like Graphite 1 is factoring into what the administration is considering? You and I have had conversations about this previously, and I'm hoping for some kind of an update.
Yeah, I am not aware of Graphite 1's application, whether there is a specific application, and maybe we can have a conversation about that separately, but I do know this. What you all put into motion with the bipartisan infrastructure law and the investments in critical minerals, especially for the battery supply chain, is having a huge impact across the country, and it will continue to do so. So all of the elements, whether it's graphite or lithium or the anode cathode separator material, all of those all of the companies doing that kind of work across the world are now looking to come to the United States, and the ones who are here are looking to expand. And that is exactly what we wanted to see, is that full supply chain in the U.S. So you've got 48C, you have 45X, you've got the Loan Program Office and the Advanced Technology Vehicle Program, $5 billion. You have $5 billion, $6 billion that through the battery grants that were authorized by the Act. There is so much happening now in all aspects that was not happening before.
And that is exciting, and it is good news. And that was, the promise that we're going to see this activity in the country is exactly what we had all hoped for. And that was why I expressed my disappointment that there was a DOE loan guarantee for a processing plant in Louisiana. That's all good, but they're going to be importing graphite from Mozambique, which just doesn't make any sense to me, and that's why I sent a letter to you and Secretary Austin questioning that. You've got a country that has labor strikes, unrest over low wages, lack of worker benefits, ISIS activity in the vicinity, all the bad things that we're trying to get away from. And so I hope we would agree that being able to source, not just to process, but to source domestically is where we want to get. To the chairman's point about bringing this all back home, if a project is going to be either directly or indirectly subsidized by U.S. taxpayer dollars, I really don't want to see that going to Mozambique. I'd much rather see that coming to this country. Again, you've got an extraordinary deposit there in Nome Graphite 1. They have submitted their applications. We were told that, first round didn't make it. So if we can have a follow-on with that, I would love to do that. We can help update you, and maybe your team can provide you as well. I want to just take a couple seconds here to give you an update on the Murkowski project. This is the geothermal project out in Alaska. There's a pretty exciting update. Trident Seafoods, who's one of the largest seafood producers out there, has provided me an update on their own sustainability plans and how they view renewable power generation from Murkowski as absolutely critical to shifting their industry's dependence on fossil fuel, on diesel, basically, to sustainable, renewable energy, uplifting the opportunities for life and folks there in Unalaska, really being able to demonstrate that we have a truly sustainable fisheries. So you are aware of it, but I will tell you that the support from Trident now and the 15 megawatts of electricity that their single processing facility requires is really significant. As I was walking over here to this committee, I visited with the head of ADA, the Alaska Industrial Development Authority, who has given me further update that the state is stepping up with financial cooperation to conduct the due diligence analysis. So there is a lot coming on. We want to make sure that you understand that the folks in the DOE, and you've got a great guy with Jigger Shaw, we're working with him all the time, but how important this particular project is for the region and for the eventual decarbonization of the processing and fishing industry. It will be transformative. So everything that you can do to lean in your capacity as secretary, I would just ask that you give that consideration.
It's very exciting.
It is exciting. You got to come out. Summer's
I
coming.
would love to.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kelly.